Experienced games, they are unequal monsters to make balancing personally 1 foot in the light, trying to impress the player into the narrative of the story. The other foot in the darkness, focusing on displaying attractive gameplay that will at least hold the player's attention throughout. Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song is just such a creature, the Frankenstein baby of Big Bad World Superior title, the console and the tabletop role-playing game. Vampire it mixes in a whodunit, not supernatural mystery with undead rap battle-style social skirmishes, where you use your ability to save, downplay and deter everyone in the game as you try to discover what is happening. As always, if the developer gives me a code, I would give one away to one of the watchers, be one of the first 100 people to hit the like button, and well, leave a comment and you will be one of the first 100. Let's talk about looks, it matters in vampire games, and that is presentation for a game about vampires. It is pretty surprising that everyone has as ugly as it is weird, because while the console itself was not a looker, it did have a style to it that actually lent some kind of unequal air with different designs and color schemes throughout, especially at the stretching with vampire well for the most part that is actually lost. I gotta say, I do applaud anyone whose super glass doll hair to their face and calls it a beard, but this dude is not gonna go buy alcohol at 16. He is a many decades old vampire the character models, and especially the lip syncing are all over the place as well, as a lot of the hair dots and just the models themselves, until they are not. As you progress on, you're going to find more and more unequal and actually pretty awesome looking location and people to talk to, but it's not like you are supposed to be leveling up your ability to see cool skill at the starting of the game. But in a way that is actually what you are doing. The game also has no issue playing around with reflection and lightings and shadows and effects for particular moments in the story. I actually do like a lot of the later invasive parts, blown out pretty areas where for the first time in a long time it actually looked like someone in a room actually, three party and got moderate while having it, and that sense of pure chaos and that environmental storytelling is pretty sound in those spots. I also like the clinical look that some of the vampires location had, especially when commenting on the differences of these creatures, the ideas of clean lines and habit both human and hundreds of humans differing quite a bit, not very vampire likes our home to look like something from an Annie Rice novel about vampire presentation. Who think blankets should be curtains? Here we do get a number of locales reflecting various ideologies of undead, human and otherwise, and that worked well to separate each into its unequal spot. But let me explain something just for a second, where the console was about a historical group, or at least with those figures it started out in this fascinating location, causing your imagination to sort of light on fire right away and even being more grounded, as it always felt like something supernatural was occurring. And let us be honest, if you played the game, not everything there was a reality, but vampire feels like it is regularly got something supernatural possible happening in a very boring location, especially at the start. It really does start you in a terrible spot. A secret chamber of some random rooms connected to each other with a couple other rooms, and your character for many parts of the game is forced to move at walking speed. It is odd to base a good deal of the starting in such a dry and boring and clinical spot, with no real pomp and circumstance or interesting beats to keep the player attached. We have seen a lot of games with that one bad level strangely enough.